Hey guys, Sensei Craig coming at you from the different part of the Samurai Virtual Dojo. Thought I'd do a little bit of a different video today. As some of you know, I'm quite a keen gamer, and just like with my karate, I enjoy games where there's quite a lot of depth, not sometimes storyline, but depth in terms of developing characters and builds and things like that. And I love the action RPG genre. So anyway, I'm just going to do a quick video on the patch notes and sorry, not the patch notes, the Cultivating Your Harvest Garden new league starts tomorrow for Path of Exile, which is an action RPG game that I really enjoy, and not sure how many of you out there play it, but thought I'd go over some of these notes on how to cultivate your sacred grove. So anyway, there's probably hundreds of videos out there by now on this by Zizaran, possibly Mathel and other guys like that who are really successful streamers. Anyway, I'm going to do my own little version and give you a peek at a path of building for the starter build that I'm going to be playing, which hopefully is going to be a little off meta. So anyway, here we go. Harvest launches this weekend. As you likely know, it introduces a uniquely powerful crafting system, which is this sacred grove and these sorts of things. So let's have a look. How to cultivate your sacred grove. So in the Harvest League, you'll find seed caches or caches, depending on where you're from. How you pronounce that? How do you pronounce that? Caches. Oshabi is a new NPC who will take you to the Sacred Grove where your seeds can be planted, grown, and harvested. And I am not the first one to make this joke. I'll be the first one to say it. It's basically Path of Exile Farmville. Okay, so yeah, they're taking farming hardcore. This raw life force can later be converted to condensed life force to irrigate your garden. Raw life force is used to modify existing items in interesting and powerful ways. I read in the patch notes that it's kind of like exalt slamming for those of you out there who know what that is. So exalt slamming, of course, is where you take an item and you modify it, a rare item, and you modify it with an exalted orb to add another modifier to it. And it's a random modifier, so it is pretty risky, but then again, it is a very random game. Okay, higher tier seeds can be found from slain monsters in the Sacred Grove, special growth requirements, etc., etc. I think what we're really interested in today is how to harvest and actually how to get our garden going, and this is a guide on that. So yeah, let's continue doing that, eh? Alright, so we've got this cool infrastructure pick here showing a Wild Force Collector. Let's have a look. There are four main types of infrastructure. Collectors, that's obviously what we've got here, which harvests your plants and lets you do the crafting. Dispersers, which use condensed life force to grow advanced plants. Storage tanks, holds more condensed life force for later use. And pylons, used to connect pieces of your infrastructure. Oshabi will give you some infrastructure freely, but you can craft more later on. So obviously here we've got a collector. Is there a disperser here? I don't know. Storage tanks, and pylons. I don't know if any of the. I don't think these look like plants. They don't look pylons. All right, let's keep going. Okay, there are three types of collectors, which each correspond to a specific seed type, and can only be used with seeds of that type. When you plant seeds, you'll place them around the collectors. Tier 1 seeds do not have special requirements in order to grow. No fertilizer needed. No manure. They'll simply tick over one growth cycle whenever you collect a seed cache. When your seeds are fully grown, use the collectors to trigger the harvest, spawning monsters. Oh, yep. So plant your seeds. When they grow, you trigger the event, as other people have said. A bunch of monsters pop out. And, yeah. Gather. Once you kill them, you collect their life force, obviously. A little bit like Metamorph League, where you killed those Metamorph monsters and you picked up their bits and bobs, you know, their lungs, their eyes, and then you stuck it all together. When the fight's over, you'll use the same collector to gather, craft your items. Collectors can store a limited amount of life force for later. Be sure to use your collector after a harvest to make the most of your raw life force. So this will be hopefully pretty powerful for league start leveling. All right, what do we got here? Okay, so there's a disperser. Okay, consumes condensed life force to feed high tier seeds. Control click on it. Obviously that's a bigger patch of garden there. All right. Don't know how this dude's doing anything. He's got no flasks. He's running flaskless with a basic attack. He's obviously a berserker. Highest tiers of seeds require condensed life force in order to grow. You'll need to install a disperser in order to spread the condensed life force that you've stored. Disperser must be connected to a collector or storage tank to work. So, okay, there we go. So auto disperse. This clearly is a meter, a life force meter, and it's dispersing it to the disperser. Okay, that makes sense. Tier 2 seeds and higher have various requirements that need to be met in order for them to grow. Some need a certain amount of condensed life force of a particular type. So that's much like the rest of crafting in Path of Exile. In order to get certain mods, you have to, or a certain type of craft, you're going to have to get a certain type of life force from a certain type of seed. So like you can't craft, let's say a crit multi modification on a non-elder based item, that sort of thing. All right, a seed whose growth conditions are not met will not grow. Of course not. It'll flash red. Well, at least you'll get some sort of indication. All right, that's where storage tanks come in because you need to access more than you can store. Blah blah blah. Yep, that is a storage tank. All right. Storage tanks, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Pylon! Alright, creates life force conduits between collectors, storage tanks, and dispersers. Alright. So that's what a pylon does. It clearly connects up your stuff. They must be placed between each infrastructure element you wish to connect and can be used to extend the distance at which each infrastructure element will function. Okay. Right, changing layouts. The Sacred Grove is large and growing high-tier seeds can be complex. Really? Well, wasn't it Zizaran who earlier on today said soon, I believe, start of his video was a clip of him saying, soon you're going to need a university degree to play Path of Exile. Okay. Holy moly. I mean, think about it. You've got, wow. You've got your already complex crafting system, your crafting bench. You've got your, what are they called? Assassination, intervention, all that crap from that league. I hated that league. Anyway, you've got all those unlockable crafting options. You've got Delirium as a core game concept now. You've got Temple of Atzoatl with Alva. My lord, seriously, this game is just getting crazier and crazier. Alright, so the Sacred Grove is large. You may want to change your layout from time to time. You can pick up any placed infrastructure anytime you want. It will break the connections, but you can simply reconnect them when you're happy with the new placement. You can also pick up any seeds you've planted, but any growth will be lost. Yeah, that's fair enough. Don't be afraid to move things around to perfect the layout. Yeah, okay, well, fear is not an option in the Sacred Grove, obviously. Fear is an option for someone like me when it comes to Cirrus. I must admit, Delirium, I kind of hit Cirrus at level 6. Yeah, he was pretty scary and I didn't end up killing him. So hopefully this league I'll be able to kill him. Automation. Each collector has a button that will auto-plant any suitable seeds in your inventory around it. Take advantage of this for low-tier seeds. Obviously for higher-tier seeds you want to be more deliberate. Yep. Dispersers can be automated and will feed life force as needed. Oh, so you can make it a self-running garden. That's pretty awesome. Rewards. Besides powerful crafting options, highest tier seeds will also offer tough boss encounters. Well, obviously, Metamorph, there were bosses. Delve, there was eventually, bosses you could get to. Atzoatl, There's a boss at the end, the temple. So Delirium, you know, you had your two bosses there, as well as the main game bosses, Shaper, Uber Elder, and Cirrus, etc. So obviously with this mechanic, they're going to chuck in a boss. Harvest may seem complex initially, but just like gardening, a little patience and persistence will reap great rewards. Fantastic. I mean, GGG have obviously done a ton of work to take the regular farming that you do in Path of Exile, grinding maps, farming materials, and actually give you real farming as well. Alright, following is a full list of potential crafting outcomes. Look, you know something? I'm not going to go through all of this in the video, I don't think, because I just want to show anyone watching, you know, a quick little look at my hopefully off-meta chieftain starter character. Don't know if anyone else is going to be doing it, but we'll see. So tier 1, Wild Ursuling Seed reveals a random caster modifier. I'm not playing a caster, but let's have a look. Reforge a normal or magic item as a rare item with random mods. Reforge a rare item with new random mods including. Remove a random non-caster modifier from an item. That is nice. That is nice. So anyway, I'm level 11. Where am I? Level 11. I'm probably just before Brutus. Oh, who is that? That is my cat meowing at the door. Starbuck. Meow, meow, let me in the room. Meow. Okay, so I'm just going to drop down to the physical modifier list, the Hellion Seed, because I'm actually doing a physical, well, fizz to fire conversion character, and just put that mod there in context for leveling is really, really good. Remove a random non-physical mod. So, well, what was I saying? Okay, I'm level 11. I am running around, you know, I'm running around the prison, running around the upper prison, and suddenly a rare item drops. It's a rare sword or a rare axe, two-handed. I'm going to be playing two-handed, so that's good. Anyway, scroll of identification, bang, and it's got a bit of strength, resist on it, you know, maybe some cold resist or something, and it's got another mod on it, like maybe it's some cold damage, adds 2 to 4 cold damage to attacks or something like that. And now obviously it's random. I mean, I could end up removing the strength modifier if it's got a life modifier or a resist mod on it. I might end up removing the resist mod, but I think for leveling, removing a non-physical modifier and getting a new physical modifier is absolutely fantastic. And same for casters. You get a wand that drops, you know, and you get some useless non-caster mod on it, like +4 to cold resist, or +4 to chaos resist when you're level 11. I mean, I don't know if anything can actually roll with that, but you get what I mean. You know, the option to get rid of that and add a caster modifier is fantastic. I mean, look at this though. I mean, hello. I mean, the anally retentive OCD person in me is like, seriously, GGG, you need someone to proofread your posts. Like, that's obviously, we've just gone the old cut and paste. That's in there twice as well. Hang on. Augment a magical rare item with a new caster modifier. Augment a magical rare item with a new caster modifier. Because we didn't read it the first. Obviously, that's doubly cool because they've written it twice. All right, what do we got down here for, what else we got? We've got augment, we've got remove a physical modifier, randomize numerical values, remove a random physical mod, reforge a rare item with new random mods, including fizz, augment with a new physical modifier with lucky values. That'll obviously be, even though it's tier 1, I reckon that'll be a rarer seed type. It would have to be. It's, you know, lucky ducky. Streamers will get that. Okay. Alright, what happens with Thorn? Okay, so Thornwolf reveals a random socket color crafting effect when harvested. Reforge the color of a non-red socket on an item turning it red. Oh, that's good. That's excellent for leveling, especially League start. You know, you're in Act 5 or 4 and a 4-link drops. It's an evasion energy shield item and it drops 3 blue, 1 green and you need a red on it. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. You know, get a red socket. That is great. Well done, GGG. Reforge the color of 2 random sockets, turning them red. That's fantastic. So it's pretty much like a, well, I guess an extension of your crafting bench without unlocking all of the delve crap. What does a wild ape do? Fire modifier. Woohoo, that's good. I'm going fire. Reforge a normal or magic is a rare item with random modifiers, including fire. Similar to the fizz and caster stuff, but with fire. Alright, here we go. This is what we want. Hatchling, reveal a random currency crafting effect. Reforges the number of sockets on an item 10 times, using the outcome with the greatest number of sockets. Alright. Interesting. Greatest number of link sockets. So, yeah, okay. So I've got some boots. They've got 2 sockets on them. And I've got 2 orbs of fusing in my inventory and 1 jewelers. So the chances with 1 jewelers and 2 fusings of getting a 4-link are pretty limited early game. So having that seeded be awesome in your grove, because it would basically reforge the links between the sockets, or the number of sockets. If you had this one, you could reforge the number of sockets 10 times. And obviously the greatest number of sockets is going to be 4. There's a good chance in 10 times you're going to roll 4 sockets. It's going to keep it. And here you could then reforge the links, possibly get your 4-link. We'll have to see. Maybe just maybe your crafting bench is going to be more efficient. Who knows? You can improve the quality of flask by at least 10%. Oh, maximum quality is still 20. Oh well. That's still good though. You know, rather than running around and picking up, what are they called? Those orbs that you use to craft, add quality of flasks. Improves the quality of a gem by 10%. Nice, that's good. It'll save us, early game, that'll save us some gem cutters. Reforge rare items with new random mods using the highest average modifier. That's nice. Level 2 reveals random crafting effects that change the element of an elemental resistance modifier. Change the modifier that grants. Yep, that's nice. Swap your resistances out. Wild Snap. Hound Grain. Exchange 3 Chaos Orbs for a Divine Orb. Nice, that's great. An exchange system. Now that I like. Oh, look at that. Exchange 3 Jeweler's Orbs for 6 fusing. 3... Wow. Is that right? Is that right? Is that... I'll tell you why I'm asking is that right. Because, as far as I'm concerned, chromatic orbs are easier to come across than GCPs, Gem Cutters Prisms. For those of you that don't know, Gem Cutters Prisms, basically you chuck one on a rare or a unique item. It improves the quality of that item by 1%. I think it's 2% for a magic and 5% for a normal item. Right, so you want to up your 2-handed unique sword that's just dropped. You know, you've just gotten an Oro's Sacrifice or a Terminus Est. You want to, it's a 0%, you want to up it to 20% quality. You know, that's going to cost you 20 Gem Cutters Prisms to do that, which are pretty rare to come across. The chromatic orbs basically drop like candy, and also you can get them from tricolored items as well, like red, blue, green socketed items. You can get a chromie. So chromies aren't that hard to come across, as opposed to GCPs, which are but you're only exchanging 3 of the easier to come across currency for the harder to come across currency. That's really interesting. Same up. Well, this looks like a more fair exchange. Like, all right, Chaos Orbs aren't dropping like candy, but they're still less rare than Divine. So 3 for 1 is fair enough. 3 Scrolls of Wisdom for 6 Orbs of Chance. Wow. 3 for 3 on Sextants. Fair enough. Oh, look at this one. I mean, Orbs of Annulment for me historically have been very difficult to come across without trading and buying. Orbs of Scouring for Orbs of Annulment. This actually, I mean, that's awful. Actually, well, that's not awful. That's good. Sorry, I misread that. Orbs of Alteration for Chaos Orbs. That's awesome. And Val Orbs for Orbs of Regret. And Chisels for Val Orbs. Change stacks. Ah, finally. Fossils and Essences. Ah, fantastic. Change oils into a different this. Okay. Homunculus Grain. Love you. Sacrifice a map to influence Zana's crafting options. Alright, tons of cool stuff there. Alright, fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, let's leave that for now. That's going to look really interesting tomorrow. I can't wait to get into that. That's going to make leveling an endgame a lot more fun. A lot more interesting. Alright, so I might leave that there. That looks really, really cool. Good job, GGG. That looks fantastic. And basically I'll cut across now to the path of building for my little, I hope, off meta starter character. Let's have a look.